Hi there. In this video I'm going to put together a triple Z fold card. Now the collection that I'm going to be using to decorate is called a Winter's Tale collection. Now this is a digital download collection from the Crafty witches, which is full of all sorts of papers, patterned, solid, inserts, lots of toppers and also lots of embellishments too to go with all your designs. So to start off with, you're going to need some pieces of cards cut first. So I wrote this out so if you want you can see it. So first piece is 15 centimeters by 22 centimeters. Then you're going to need one piece at 15 centimeters by 23 centimeters. And then next is 9 centimeters by 17.5 centimeters. Then 9 centimeters by 27.5 centimeters. Then we have a 5 centimeter one by 22 centimeters and 5 centimeters by 23 centimeters. Now some of these pieces are going to need scoring. You're going to need a scoreboard. Now the 15 by 22 centimeter is as it is, so I'll just put that one to one side. So 15 by 23 centimeter, you need to score this at 1 centimeter and then 12 centimeter. Okay, so that's those pieces. Then the 9 centimeter, the one that measures 9 by 17.5 centimeter needs scoring at 1 centimeter. And the longer piece needs scoring at 16.5 centimeter. And then the next two pieces, these are the 5 centimeter pieces. So the shorter one at 22 centimeters needs scoring at 11 centimeters. And the longer piece needs scoring at 1 centimeter. Again, everything is just wrote down on there too. So just pop the scoreboard away, and then these need to be joined together. So just cut in the smaller tab at a slight angle. Fold that over, and I'm going to add some red liner tape. And this is going to be added to the other strip. Okay, oops, and the next two. Now this piece needs adding to the shorter fold there. You can see the score line there. So I'm just going to add that to that piece. these two together. Okay, so the score line's at the front here, and I'm going to fold that to the front there. So that's the first Z fold, and then bring in the 9cm. Now a piece goes there, so you need to fold that over like that, so that when you open this up you have the two longer pieces like that, and then it all folds flat. And then the last piece, the longest bit goes on the front, so you fold this end inwards like that, and then that will be attached to there, and then all folds down flat when it's all in place. So that's the basic card base, and now it's time to do mats and layers. So these are my mats and layers for my first piece. Now this is one of the inserts I printed off and then added to some solid colour. So the solid colour measures 14.5 centimetres by 21.5 centimetres, and then like I said, I printed an insert out. It doesn't quite fit the edges, but I quite like that effect, to be honest. So this is going to be added to the back. Okay, and then there's 3 pieces for the inside of the card. So the solid colour measures 14.5 centimetres by 21.5 centimetres. So the paper will measure 14 centimetres by 21 centimetres, and that piece goes there. And then you need 2 pieces. These are the same size. So the solid colour measures 14.5 centimetres by 10.5 centimetres. So the pattern paper will be 14 centimetres by 10 centimetres, and you need, like I said, you need 2 of those. Okay, so that's the first one, just put that to one side. Then this is the second piece. So you're going to need 2 pieces, same here. Now the solid paper measures 8.5 centimetres by 16 centimetres. So your pattern paper will measure 8 centimetres by 15.5 centimetres. So like I said, you need 2 of those to either side, and then the centre piece same height at 8.5 centimetres by 10.5 centimetres for the solid paper. So the pattern paper will be 8 centimetres by 10 centimetres. So I'm just going to add those. So there's the mats and layers for the second piece, and then just bring in the last bit. So you're going to need two of the same here, and solid paper measures 4.5 centimetres by 10.5 centimetres, so the pattern paper will be 4 centimetres by 10 centimetres, and like I said, you need two of those. And then one long piece here, solid paper is 4.5 centimetres by 21.5 centimetres, so the pattern paper will be 4 centimetres by 21 centimetres. So just going to add those to here. And then the last piece. There's all three pieces with the mats and layers on, and then just need to pop them together. Okay, so now these need to be added together. So the first part is I'm going to attach this to the base card there. So I'm just matching that with the outer and the bottom base card, and then this one here will be attached here, so you just need to work out where you want to put your glue. Press those down. As you see, it folds nicely closed, and then the next piece, the smaller piece, is then added first. So again, just like before, just line it up with the edge and the bottom. Press that down. So there's the triple Z fold card base, and now it's just time to add some toppers. Okay, so here are my toppers. I've made white mats for each of them. So I have a couple of square ones, and then this little image. I'm just going to cut that out, and then I have the 4 circle ones here. Again, you can decorate this however you like. This is just an idea. I'm just going to close that up. Now my first one I'm going to attach to the front there. So I'm just going to use some foam pads on that. Okay, so I'm just going to put that on there. And then my next little square one, I'm just going to overlap that. And then my small image here. Yeah, I'm just adding foam pads there. Okay, and then the inside, I cut these ones out for there. So this one is going to be attached there. Just press that down. And that one's just going to slightly overlap. Okay, and then we're just going to have to stand this up because I'm going to add my next big one just in there. Okay, it's just there. And then my little fox just on there. There you go. And then all still nicely folds up. Okay, so this one here I've decorated with a winter's tale. Then I actually made a couple more. This one has been decorated with bygone winter, and then I've done another one here, and that's been decorated with an open road. So 3 cards I've actually put together in this style. So like I said, I've shown you how to make the base, the card base, and then you've got all your mats and layers, and then you can decorate it as you please. So I hope you like this tutorial, and give this triple Z fold card a go, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.